This is a brief overview of the instructors seminar from October 2011 taken at the BJMA headquarters and of course presented by myself to a group of instructors in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, mixed martial arts, Zendo Kai, Thai boxing, but the topics cover a range of things all to do with leadership and dojo operation. So as you can see, at the start of the seminar we talked about the basics of their actions today will predetermine their actions to the next day. For example, as you can see, I've said on the current screen that what happens now basically determines what happens next. So if we can look at taking some affirmative action from the next 5 minutes of this audio presentation or this video presentation, it obviously can have a downline effect on what happens tomorrow. So if we go to the next screen, you'll see there that my seminar was basically broken into two equal areas. Number one is dojo operation, which concerns everybody, the operation of a dojo so that it doesn't take up 80 hours of your time and also remains profitable and can contribute to the lives of all of your students in a positive way. The second area of the seminar, interestingly enough, concentrated on your ability to be able to step back from the day-to-day operation of your school, your dojo, your martial arts academy, your Thai boxing academy or whatever, and have it still operate in the same way as if you were there, which is obviously easier said than done. So let's get into the first part, and that's all about, as I said, the operation of your dojo. And as you can see from the small picture on your screen, that most people will feel more comfortable because of the way we got involved in martial arts in the first place, was that of a student. We'll feel more comfortable on the dojo floor. Whereas our focus as a martial arts or academy owner should be in one of three areas. Number one, obviously, as you can see, is leadership, and that's creating people who can do your job as good, if not better, than you can. The second area, which is coming up, is marketing and ensuring that there is a steady stream of people inquiring about your academy on a regular basis. And finally, your focus as a business owner has to be on maintaining a correct financial balance. Now let's get into the first one of leadership, and as you can see on the screen, this is the series of leaders that I grew under my school, and the aim was to be able to know exactly what the individual goals were of each person, because not everybody would want to become a full-time dojo owner. Not everyone wants to be a full-time instructor. Some people just want to teach 2 or 3 times a week and retain their day job. Now, the important thing as the owner, and that's me in the middle obviously, is I needed to be aware of all of the long-term and short-term goals of all of the instructors who flanked me. I needed to know whether they wanted to run their own school, whether they wanted to be a manager of a current school, whether they were just quite happy teaching once a week, whether they wanted to fight full contact, whether they wanted to grade, whether they wanted to just be a loyal student. So the important thing was to fit a square peg in a square hole, you might say. So the first thing I had to do was, as you can see, identify exactly what I did that made me successful, because I think that if I can't do that, chances of me being able to teach someone else to do something that I'm good at is minimal. So the first step was identifying exactly what I did that enabled me to have 30 people on the floor, class after class after class. And then once I had articulated that successfully to someone else, they then at least would have the chance to be able to reproduce that. So that possibly could be the first challenge for someone listening to this presentation, would be to identify what are the skills, the personality traits, what are the qualities that enable you to be good at what you do. And the next thing would be to transfer that knowledge or that technique or that skill onto someone underneath you. So as you can see, that identification is the most important thing, and the what you're teaching is important, whether you're teaching Taekwondo, Kung Fu, Zendo Kai, Karate, Judo, Jiu-Jitsu, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, all that is important, but the how you teach it is much more important. So therefore, you should be concentrating on not necessarily what you are teaching, a punch or a kick. It should be how you are articulating that to a group of students, what your method has been, so then you can teach that method to instructors coming up underneath you. So you need to really look in the mirror first of all. In terms of teaching others, it's important that all staff are to be responsible or accountable for their results. Not necessarily just me teaching them this is how you teach a class. They must be accountable for their results. This is the first step in stepping back. And that's the reason why I'm going to halt this first part of the presentation here, is because I need everybody to be completely aware of, number one, exactly what it is they do that makes them successful, and number two, how they measure that success. Is it numbers of students attending on the dojo floor? Is it the quality of a person who is grading to black belt or competing in the ring, or whatever measurement you wish to have to be able to judge your ability as an instructor and any other instructor who is underneath you to measure their ability also, because you have to focus that instructor on obviously the method they use to teach a class, but the most important thing, they must be aware of how you are going to judge their performance. Therefore, they will be results driven.